Right, back again with an update on the Corrado. So the centre tunnel is now welded in, majority of it anyway. So I've stitch welded it from underneath, and then I have plug welded it from the top. So it's in there. Still got a little bit more to do up here and clearly at the back there, but it's in. Now originally the plan was to kind of make up some panels like this one to close out the whole back, because if you remember back to previous videos, yeah, we'll leave that one on the floor. If you remember back to previous videos, to get the heater matrix in, I had to kind of cut this away to get as low down as possible so I could fit the heater matrix above that. Well, when I moved on to fitting the seat and the shifter, I realised that one, this was too high and it wasn't level, and it's bumpy, so I can't get the shifter on level. So I've unpicked the stitch welds and taken this top part off. I'll show you that comes off. So what we were left with was something which was slightly flatter and lower, but again wasn't quite where I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be as low down as possible, so I've cut the top out of this. So now you can see the actual fuel tank underneath it. So what I've done is I've now created a kind of one-piece plate which fills in that hole, and is as low as possible. Is literally resting on the top of the fuel tank. So as you can see, it is flat and is as low as I can possibly get it. So that will, one, aid with getting the heater matrix in, but two, it gets the shifter as low down as I can possibly get it. So that just needs to be welded in place, and a few panels made up to close the last bits of gap out. But yeah, happy with that. So what I'll do now is I'll kind of show you the final seating position and show you where I think this shifter is going to sit. So I was sat here for quite a while the other day just working out the optimum position for the shifter. Just give me a second, I'll put the seat in and then show you that. Right, okay, the seat's in and the steering wheel and shifter. So as you can see, the shifter's got a flat bottom, so hence the need to get the top of the fuel tank stroke centre tunnel as flat as possible and as level as possible. So that's kind of approximately where things sit. I've tried to get the seat as low down and as far back as possible, still being able to kind of reach the steering wheel with my arms bent. And worst case scenario, if I get it too far back, I can always space the steering wheel back a bit. Let me just go and take a seat. I'll show you what I mean about positioning the shifter, because I'm going to slightly angle it towards me. Let's try and get in without breaking my neck. Right. Okay, so I can reach the pedals, and my knees are still slightly bent with the pedals all the way down, so that's good. Arms out, my elbows are slightly bent, so that's good. And then lastly, the shifter. So if I mount it straight on the tunnel, the problem is that as I'm pulling back on the shifter, my arm's kind of going back against the seat bolster, and it's awkward, if that makes sense, when you're pulling down the gears, because you're actually trying to get leverage on it, but you're pulling back away from yourself. So personally, I think it's better to angle the shifter slightly towards me. Okay, I know it doesn't look particularly great being wonky in the tunnel, but I can make some kind of mounts and stuff to make it look a bit more aesthetically pleasing, if you want to call it that. But this way, when I'm pulling the shifter, I'm pulling it towards me, and it just feels a lot more natural. A bit like a hydro handbrake, but they tend to be angled towards you, so you can get the maximum leverage as you pull towards me, not kind of pulling away. So that's kind of, I think, where it's going to sit, kind of angled and level with the steering wheel, And again, to change down the gear, it is literally just pushing slightly forward, which is again comfortable. So what I'm going to do is to obviously weld this plate in, finish closing up all the gaps in the tunnel down there on either side. I'm probably not going to mount this just yet, simply because I prefer to get the seat position fixed first, absolutely, and then mount this. But what I can do in the interim is to start to feed the Bowden cables for the shifter. Now at the front of this shifter, you'll see 2 holes, and they're for the shifter cables. But clearly at the back there isn't any, because this is to shift 1 gearbox. So I'm going to have to modify it to shift 2. So the first thing I have to do is cut 2 holes out at the back, and then get what they called now. I think the rose joints. Get some rose joints made up to connect the rear shifter cables to the mechanism inside, and then they'll just run off down to the back, and that should be it. I'm gonna try to, rather than wait for stuff to film that I think is interesting, just try and do daily updates, a quick 3-4 minute video, and then I can just show the progress of the day. Clearly, if there hasn't been any progress, I won't upload a video, but I prefer to do that than rather than, because what I'm tending to do is try and bunch things up, and then I'm either forging ahead and forgetting to film, or the videos aren't coming out with any consistency. So I'll try and do that, and we'll see how it goes. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you up on the next update. Cheers, bye.